Hi, this is Chris with firstcenturychristianity.net, if you haven't figured that out already. And our expenses are growing in a couple of ways that I'll explain after I give you some inside baseball about our organization, because I figured if I'm asking for donations, that I should probably tell you how we operate and what we use the donations for. Um, I seldom ask for donations, and I don't recall ever doing it over video. But it dawned on me that the ministry, the way that I reach all of you, is through video and audio these days. And only a handful of people, well, maybe about half, get the email subscription, and about a bunch of other people are signed up at YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, or the stuff I upload to Spotify goes out to a bunch of different platforms that I don't even know about. So here goes. And because I have to use the various outlets to ask, I'm going to ask. And I'm sorry if it's off putting for that to ask, because I know I don't like being asked for money. But please listen to the whole thing before you judge. And you might like what you hear. But we are experiencing growth because of the generosity of the people who've been very quietly supporting the ministry for years. And we appreciate that. There have been people who've been donating and supporting the ministry and helping us spread the gospel. And that has helped us to actually show some in-person growth. The primary reason for the Word of the Way, which is the parent organization that First Century Christianity operates underneath, is to have a Sabbath and Holy Day fellowship church inside the Kansas City metro, because there are some groups out there, but they are kind of fleeting. And we wanted to fill a niche there and have an actual in-person assembly, while also ministering to people who are far off through Zoom and through YouTube and through videos and stuff like that. And so this has helped us to grow. And we just hosted Sukkot, which had lots of expenses, and we had lots of generous people donate for that. And we did it in conjunction with Congregational Fellowship, and they were very generous too. But not just donating of money. We had a number of people, and we have a number of people week in and week out, donate their time and their effort, and actual donating of goods and food and the like. And that's how this operates, which is modeled after the first century churches. We are supposed to donate, and we are supposed to bless in the way we are blessed, and we're supposed to help people who are in need. So for that to happen, we do need funds to operate and to exist. So thank you so much for everybody who has stepped up over the years. Thank you. Please don't stop. Appreciate you. And it is duly noted. And so now for the nitty gritty. First Century Christianity.net is the website and the name of the ministry. And we operate under a 501c3 called The Word and the Way. If you want to know the history of the two names, let me know and I'll tell you on the sidebar. It's a long story. But we did incorporate as a 501c3 after trying to operate without that for about 5 years, and it was just a mess. So there's a lot of myth out there about being a 501c3 and how that's going to harm you or anything. I just want to let you know that none of that's true. If you'd like to know more about it, let me know. But being a 501c3, I've actually been more outspoken about pro-life issues and pro-religious liberty issues since we've been a 501c3, and I've never heard a peep from anybody. In fact, the law actually does protect that type of speech. So there really is no downside to organizing that way. And when you do organize that way, it opens doors for you. It allows you to get much better rates when organizing with hotels and with organizing with meeting space, and even when making large purchases, you can actually save a bunch of money if you are a 501c3 church that you would never even know about if you were not. So we are organized as a public benefit church for the United States. That's important. That was a choice when we were put together, and depending on which boxes you check on the form. But the result of this is that we do not have any ability to share funds outside of the United States. If you are following the ministry from outside the United States, which quite a number of people do, you can donate to us, and that's fine. That's not a problem. But we can't send money overseas. And sometimes a couple times a week, I get solicited to help something outside the country, and it's just not part of our charter, and it's not part of our mission. Our mission is a domestic 501c3 and focusing mainly on the Kansas City metro, which is Missouri and Kansas. We are registered as a church in the state of Missouri, but that doesn't stop us from helping people from Kansas as well. We just happen to be registered in the state of Missouri because that's where we meet, and that's where my residency is set up. There's no compensation. That's also part of our charter. It asked when we registered if anybody was going to collect a salary off of the charity, and the answer was no. I volunteer all of my time. I volunteer more than my time. My family volunteers, and there's a core group of people who have been volunteering to help out for quite a number of years, which is why we exist. It's how we function. It's how we show up from week to week because of very faithful and wonderful people who have decided that this is the fellowship that they're going to congregate with, and they donate their time and they donate their treasure. Our treasurer's name is Terry LaValle. We have an organization, a structure, and we do have books, and we do have, spreadsheets and accounting and the like, and we do have financial tools. But again, being a 501c3 has not interfered with our ability to preach the gospel at all, in no way, shape, or form, no matter who has been the president. We've been this way for 3 presidents at least, and there's been nothing negative to it whatsoever. And we're registered as a church in the state of Missouri because we are a physical church in the state of Missouri. I know you see a lot of videos online of people who are preaching online, and then that's it. That's all they do is preach online, and they may not be organized for anything, and they may be preaching for clicks or something of that nature. That's not the case with us. If you come to Kansas City, if you're passing through, you can fellowship with us. We meet on Shabbat at North Kansas City, and we rent the north side of the Disciples of Christ building in North Kansas City, which is we have great landlords, and that's part of this pitch here, is that we are now to the point where we have enough people that the small place that we've been renting for about 2 years from these folks isn't big enough, and we're having enough people show up, and it's not even the same people every week. If everybody showed up at once in our small hall, we would not be able to hold them because we have some people come some week and some people come another. So we have we're meeting in the larger hall, the hall that we met at Sukkot. We started meeting there every week for fellowship, so we can hold now up to maybe 150 people and praying that Yahweh does grow us to that level. So we do need to increase our footprint. So we've increased our rent. So we do need to increase our donations to make up for that, so that way we can continue operating and paying our bills. We use the name, and then that continues primarily for an in-person fellowship in Kansas City to serve the metro, but secondarily we feed people through the word, through Zoom and through YouTube. And our Zoom license, we operate under the Congregational Fellowships account. Don Wells allowed us to use one of his licenses, so we don't even have to pay for that. So we're very good stewards of the money, and we cooperate with other organizations wherever we can save money. So we are good stewards. Not only we're not getting paid, but we actually do a very good job of staying frugal. So why do we need the money? The holy days primarily is our biggest expense. We do not want there to be anything stopping believers from being able to come and keep the Sabbath or any of the annual holy days. So we take donations, free will offerings, so that we spend it on that. If you kept Sukkot with us, you'd know that we had enormous amounts of food, and we even had some entertainment outside of the Sabbaths and stuff. And we have, some electronics for that. We have a nice sound system, some of which was donated to us as well. We have some nice TV screens, which I bought on sale at Costco when I saw them go on sale. And so we have some nice electronics and stuff to be able to feed people, to be able to serve people, to play music and stuff like that, and some kind of furniture, and then lots of food and lots of fellowship and the like, in order to be able to feed however many people showed up, with lots of fellowship meals. We just really do not want anybody to have a reason to not come and keep the Sabbath or the holy days with us. Some people come to fellowship with us from as far as 2 hours away in any given direction. And so they'll probably be hungry when they get there. We don't buy and sell on the Sabbath. So we have a meal every week for the brethren. Now, most of that is not bought with church money. I don't know if we ever buy that with church money, because we just have it's called an oneg in Hebrew, the meal of delight. Potluck is the word in our language, even though we wouldn't like to use that. And so we have a meal every week where people bring it, and we have tons and tons of food so everybody can come and fellowship and stay together, because that's our way, because generosity is part of keeping the Torah, because Abraham entertained angels because of his generosity. So we have the holy days, we have our meeting hall, our extended footprint, and then we have hardships and the government shutdown. And this is something that happened recently, where we had people in our midst that had immediate needs for support, and we need to be there for them. That is one reason for having an assembly, is to actually physically minister to the needs of the people that are in your congregation. And we do that. So if you donate to us and we have people who have a need, we are going to take care of that need and help people until they can get back on their feet. And there are some people in our midst who are having personal hardships right now. During the government shutdown, that caused some grief as well. And it looks like the government's going to shut down again in January. So we need to have a bit of a war chest built up for whatever tomorrow may bring in that regard. And so those who have been given much will be required. Those of us who have been blessed with good, solid jobs and no layoffs and stuff like that, we should be, donating on a regular to a congregation or a charity, so that way people can be assisted in their times of need. We also buy Bibles. I did preach a series of messages to teach people how to pick a Bible, how to read the Bible, and how to interpret the Bible. And if you come in person, or if you let me know that you want one, I will send you a Bible free of charge, and it will be a nice one. It's something similar to this one right here, an NASB that's leather bound, something that's going to last, for 20 years, something that you can have and hold and study with, because I don't want to tell you to do something and then not empower you to be able to actually do that. Electronics and websites and furniture and the like. Now, this is another place where we're frugal. You can see I'm using a basic microphone here. I see a lot of people talking online with very elaborate microphones that really don't do much. So I know electronics pretty well. So we use Logitech cameras. We don't use Minolta or Canon cameras, big, huge 4K cameras just to look at my ugly mug. It's unnecessary. And that's just a humongous expense that makes huge files that you have to manipulate for literally no value whatsoever. You wouldn't even know the camera that I'm using when I make this video if I hadn't told you that. The websites need to be maintained. So we do have thewordandtheway.net is us. firstcenturychristianity.net is us. Some reason the web host people find a way to charge you for some nitty gritty thing every couple of months. So that's a few $100s a year. Electronics, like I said, we have sound systems, and we use television screens now instead of projectors. Seems to be a better and more robust thing. We have to have some furniture to meet in the big hall upstairs. We're going to have to put our stuff away every week. So we're working on a system to put our equipment on mobile wheels so that we can roll it into a closet every week. So there's just minor expenses. And we do search things out to make sure that we get the best value. So it's not like we're spending the money like it's yours, not like it's ours. So if you donate, don't come up expecting to see us having enormous lavish equipment that doesn't add any value to the service. That just wouldn't be our style whatsoever. In fact, we'd be kind of embarrassed if that were the case anyway. Advertising. Now, this is something that has to be done. The websites have to exist and the advertising has to exist in order for us to be found. That's how evangelism occurs today. People have a try it before you buy it mentality. That's why the videos are out there. That's why the podcasts are out there. And that's why we're on these various social media platforms and we advertise through the search engines. And because that's how people find us. They're looking for a Sabbath church in Kansas City. They're looking for Shabbat in Kansas City. They're looking for Yahweh and Yeshua congregation in Kansas City. They're looking for a place to keep the holy days in Kansas City. So those are all search words and keywords that you need to be plugged into in the internet. And you have to spend a little bit of money to keep your content viable in the search windows and stuff like that. And so we do have to do some advertising in order for us to find people in these modern times. And that has been working. We did a heavy advertising campaign for Sukkot, which has found people who are now attending regularly, and they were looking for a home. And that's a big, huge blessing. So as we've been blessed, as Yahweh has blessed us with money, we've used it to reach out and find the people who he's calling so that they can connect to us and we can continue to grow his congregation here in the Kansas City metro. I think that's about it as far as the expenditures go. I do want to mention that if you donate to us, if you want to write a check, you write it to thewordandtheway.net, or the Word and the Way Inc., rather, because that's the parent corporation. And if you donate electronically through PayPal or through Cash App, it is to the Word and the Way. Even though it's called firstcenturychristianity.net, First Century Christianity, that is a sub business underneath the Word and the Way. You can find the links to donate at firstcenturychristianity.net/donate. I'll put links wherever this video may be found. And, whatever you can donate is very appreciated. And if you could just donate a little bit as a periodic basis, that's very handy as well. So we can count on that as time goes by. There's something that you can do to help us out that costs us nothing, and which is to share the content videos, the video about the Sabbath, the video about being adopted, videos about being called out of Babylon. Help grow the social media without the need for advertising. Like it, share it, send it to your friends, put it on your social media, comment on it, do things to make that bubble up to the top. That's a way to help if it doesn't cost anything, and it helps to keep that content flowing so that people can find us who are looking for people like us. As for me, not only do I not take a salary or have any income from ministry whatsoever, I have a career and I spend a large chunk of my time on my career, that I'm a diligent employee. And I have a job that allows me to spend time on ministry, and I spend my off time on ministry because that's what I'm called to do. It's a very big blessing to not make your living off the ministry because I am allowed to preach the truth. I'm not chasing clicks and I'm not chasing congregants. I'm trying to preach the truth and preach the gospel. So I'm not trying to reinvent Hebrew or talk about the sci-fi roots movement and come up with some strange stuff to talk about all the time, because I don't need to make content for the sake of content, because I'm not making a living off of preaching. That's very liberating. However, if I was ever called, if this ever grew big enough for me to make a living, I would still preach the same information and let the chips fall where they may. And hopefully that's what people are doing. But from the outside, it does look like quite a number of people are out there just making videos because they have equipment. And there's some really strange teachings going on out there that get lots and lots of traffic. But I hope you can understand and appreciate that this ministry is about straight talk. And you can go listen to the latest messages before you donate to hear what you're going to get. Yesterday, I preached about the Sabbath, and the week before that about adoption, talking about the basics of our faith, because that's enough. Stopping the pagan practices of mainstream Christianity and adopting Yahweh's Sabbath, Yahweh's holy days, walking it out the way the Son of God walked it out, and anticipating the return of the Son of God and the millennial kingdom, which will be established here on earth for 1,000 years before the Olam Haba, the world to come, comes, is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be preaching repentance. We're supposed to be preaching the gospel. We're supposed to be living it at the same time as helping the orphan, helping the widow, helping people who are in need, and being compassionate and doing those things. And so that's what this ministry is about, not just preaching and talking, but actually doing. And if that's something that you can get behind, we would appreciate your support, either with labor, or with goods, with services, or financially. Thank you so much. Appreciate you watching to the end. And please like and subscribe. May Yahweh bless you and keep you in the name of his son, Yeshua.